if that was intentional, I really like that symbolism there. This is a really beautiful song. I've never heard Green Day in this mode before. Welcome back to Lone University. I've said before that when I was growing up, I always thought Green Day were just another rock band. I had never once heard the label punk rock at the time, but of course I knew Green Day growing up. I mean, their song When I Come Around is still playing over the speakers in Walmart half the time I'm in there these days. I think the more interesting discussion is, do punk rock fans still like Green Day at this point? Seeing the big picture, it's clear they got a little more commercial, arguably backpedaling on their true punk rock ideals in the eyes of some, but many said the same thing about bands like Metallica. I'm a big Metallica fan. In my opinion, is Metallica's mainstream success allowed the other 99 metal bands I now love to ride the tide higher and for longer. And there's no denying that it helped the scene as a whole and still is today. To that same point, I mean, damn, it was just announced that Green Day are playing the Super Bowl's opening ceremony, and I've never ever seen the word punk and quote unquote goes punk and punk rockers mentioned in so many different major press headlines. There's certainly something to be said for that. But I digress. Despite my awareness of the band and their seminal 1994 album Dookie and some of its hits, I've known nothing about what came before it. And today's song is from its predecessor, Kerplunk, the band's second studio album released in 1991. I'm told today's song, No One Knows, is one of the more unique and unusual songs in the band's catalog, driven almost entirely by its bass line. Off we go. Oh, man. Huh. Holy shit. Bro, this is sick. Wow. Yeah, I've never heard anything like this from Green Day. I mean, there's a couple songs I've heard with shorter bass intros that are a bit more energetic, maybe a quick interlude, but this is like a really drawn out bass solo. It's almost like their version of Anesthesia pulling teeth without the fuzz and distortion. Okay. Wow, it almost reminds me of the approach of a bass intro like Carousel, Blink-182. But it's like you took that intro, the character of it, and slowed it way down and put these real somber type of effects and reverbs on it. It just sounds sad. Some interesting musical things going on here. Another example of some things I have not heard from Green Day. Of course, I got to hear it again and maybe again. But let's go back to that because that could be it and it could be the rest of the song. I really have no idea. Obviously, I think they're tuned down. I know Green Day is usually always in E flat, but I might be able to work around that. I do have a detuner if I need it. But let's just see. Okay. Right about there, I thought the band was going to kick in. And it's like, okay, that was a really cool intro, but it goes on like a whole nother 30 seconds, I feel like. Okay, it starts off with this really cool root movement. We're going from major to minor. So right off the bat, those two chords that sound kind of tense next to each other, well, they're not in the same key, but it's so smooth by using inversions. I talk about inversions all the time. Here's a great example of why they can work so well. Just that opening bit sort of sets up the tonality of the bass intro, I feel like. These first two chords, I think it's in B flat. Let's see, one more time. The fourth on top. It's got B flat in the bass, but it's actually an F sharp major. Just rearranging the order can have such a profound effect on the way it comes across. And I think it goes down just a half step, which gives it that somber feeling. Right there. Yeah, just one note, I think. Okay, so that's what I wanted to highlight really quickly. The root note stays the same, F sharp up on top, but that half step is in the third. It's going from major to minor. Here's a really quick example as to why inversions are so powerful. If I had a progression I'm going to make up and kind of go off of, I always go off Black Hole Sun, Soundgarden. If I were to go back to the actual root notes and not do any inversions, that progression I think is sort of like this. It kind of has that sound. I think I'm missing a few chords, but it's just an example. So the root notes go dun, 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 dun. It's very jerky. It doesn't have that smooth rolling down the progression. But what if I told you that same progression can have the root notes and not change anything about the chords, their properties, sound like this? Remember, originally it was. Now I can change it to. Just by using inversions and making the root notes all go down linearly chromatically. Now it sounds like this. So I changed the D major to first inversion. I changed the D minor to first inversion. I kept the E the same. I changed the B major to first inversion, third in the bass. Going from here, now puts the root note down here. Kept the D the same. So I just changed the notes I needed to in each chord to make sure the root movement had that really rolling chromatic thing. So the first two chords in this, to tie this all together, that's exactly what's happening here. Okay, I've talked enough. We're at 4 seconds in. I'm very surprised by the depth of this intro, being an earlier Green Day thing. Earlier song. Okay. I love that. Love that little. I like that it's also not all chords. It has this really nice sort of okay. It's a little repetitive here. That's smart, because the first half of that, I would say the first 20 seconds or so, it's really establishing this theme. It only starts to get repetitive here at the end. It kind of goes back and forth, vamping between the. It's like, okay, now we're bringing in a song structure, and that's when the feedback hits. Really beautiful. Just how cool. See, just going between these two. Right into it. Badass. Hell yeah, Mike Dirnt.
Why should my fun have to end? For me, it's only the beginning.
Whoa. Did not expect the actual progression of the verse to have that same ominous character of the bass intro. I expected that, again, that just to be its own thing and to come in with maybe 3-chord truth, something more simple. How badass, it really is the backbone of the song.
Why should my fun have to end? For me, it's only the beginning. See my friends begin to reach a short countdown to their end.
That chord. Man, just love these chords. They're so colorful.
Call me irresponsible. Call me habitual. But when you
You know, I didn't know it at the time, but that repetitive thing I was commenting on is really just sort of like the chorus here. So you could say, okay, he did a pass through the progression, but when you get lost in the intro like that, I was honestly wondering, how long is this? Is the whole song like this? Hell, I had no idea. It very well could have just had vocal and bass only. There are songs like that. But that repetitiveness was just foreshadowing the chorus that we're here at now, going between the... Cool, okay. Let me go back just a little bit. It really is that kind of minor 4 sound, but it's not, because it's really not going to, it is a minor 4. Wow. It just didn't present quite like one because of the inversions gave it this whole new life. You usually hear it up top, so it's sneaky when it's in the bottom like that. It is a minor 4. I didn't even catch that. I always catch minor 4s. Yeah, I just love that the whole piece is riding on that ominous bass intro. And one thing I'd like to say about the choice to actually keep that bass intro going as the bass line, because typically bass players will, do the thing up here, and they'll come down and go, just start root hugging, fill out, be the wall of sound down there. But they're keeping it up high, so the piece almost lacks some bottom end. And I did read the lyrics beforehand because I had some context reading the Wikipedia page, a song about growing up and not knowing what it means to grow up, and just some sort of narrative around that. And the way I think that relates to the sound of this bass intro is you don't feel grounded in this song. There's no bass line down here. You don't feel resolved, just like the title, No One Knows. It's unresolved. So the bass line always sounding like it might come down and be a bass, it just hangs out up where it has been. So that's kind of the uncomfortable musicality of it that really pairs nicely with the lyrical message. If that was intentional, I really like that symbolism there. This is a really beautiful song. I've never heard Green Day in this mode before.
Times my actions hurt.
Maybe this a little bit, but
Is there something I should find to make plans for forever? Call me irresponsible. Call me habitual. But when you think of me, do you fill your head with schemes? You better think again, 'cause no one knows.
big 5 chords. And I think back. Really like that drum fill too. This is the first album with Trey Cool I was reading too. I thought he was from day one. I didn't know that. Learn something new every day doing these videos. Okay. Big 5 chords. And instead of going 5 to 1, you get. So I like that move too. That's that one chord I can't get. It sounds like a... What is that? Ooh. Yeah, so this is like a really tense chord they're throwing in there. So I think I finally got the whole progression now. It hasn't detoured enough. It's just those little lyrical lines in the beginning that set it apart. I like now learning that the entire song is rooted on the same progression, But the way it was mixed up in the bass intro, again with the... You know, this, all the little movements, just really pretty. Okay. Oh, there it is again. Okay, bringing it back. Maybe that was there in the verses, just couldn't hear it under the vocals, but I'd like to think he's reprising what he was doing in the intro to bring it to the outro. That would be just a swell piece, wouldn't it? Ooh, what was that one? Love that. Hold on. 5-chord. Whew. So what would that be? Is that flat major 7? I like it whatever it is. Okay, here we go. Very interesting. There's something really endearing about the open-endedness of the messaging here. I tend to gravitate towards songs that raise topics or questions without a conclusion, because then I feel like I have to listen to the song again and again to make my own conclusion. I mean, do you guys ever think about it like that? This might sound weird, but it also embraces an almost archaic way of thinking in the age of information and immediacy. Sometimes it's okay to not know something, or the outcome of something, or the result of something. I mean, that's the premise of the song, right? No one knows. And I think the bass intro, melodically and musically, really supports that. It's just kind of always circling the drain tonally. It repeats a little bit to give you some sort of predictability and familiarity, but those chords just have that unsettling thing. I'm curious about these first 2 albums when maybe Green Day was more punk. Maybe they were thought of more as that. And I'm just curious if maybe Mike Dirnt was a bit more adventurous with the bass parts earlier on. That tends to be the case with some bands. But nonetheless, best way to support the channel. I also have bass lessons, music theory lessons, and a great community to boot. Come hang out with us. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do that now. Like the video. I love you all. We'll see you in the next one.